friend and he said, "What are you doing using note cards?" And I said, "Well, I want to make sure that I get the description of Ryan's immense resume correct. So I do have a card for that." My name is Gretchen von Stubbe. I am in the client partnerships team here at Paramount, which is now a Skydance corporation. So we're super excited about that. And I'm really honored to be here with Ryan Johnson, Integrated Media Manager at Subaru of America. So Ryan does have a really impressive track record for someone who looks so young. Just saying. He leads a team responsible for media strategy, investment, social media, and creator marketing. And over his 11 years at Subaru and 5 years at Mercedes-Benz down in Atlanta, he helped drive both brand growth and vehicle demand through innovative, data-driven approaches. And in his role at Subaru, he oversees a pretty large media budget across all major channels. He established Subaru's certified digital advertising program, which I really want to learn more about, which aligns tier one and retailer media efforts to maximize efficiency and performance. He also established the brand's first influencer marketing strategy, engaging creators to amplify vehicle launches and Subaru's Love Promise initiatives. And one more note, during his time at Mercedes, Ryan was named to the Brand Innovators 40 Under 40 South list a few years ago, back in 2018, which doesn't seem right. But so thank you, Ryan, for being here today. I think I've told you Subaru has a really special place in my heart. I've called on the business for many years, going back to when you were one of the first advertisers on Logo TV. So I'm dating myself a little bit. So we're here talking about building trust and the road to long-term partnerships. So sort of top line, Ryan, what does trust mean to Subaru when it comes to building brand partnerships?
Yeah, sure. Great to be here. Great to be at Paramount and back at the Brand Innovators event, so thank you. I would say it's vital. Like, we're not going to invest in a long-term partnership unless it's deeply rooted in trust. And the funny thing is, when you brought this topic to me of the idea of trust, it's pretty relevant to us at Subaru because we talk a lot about trust, specifically in our advertising and our creative and with our products, because we've heard from our customers that they enter a long-term relationship with Subaru rooted in trust due to dependability, safety, kind of like longevity and customer satisfaction. So all those key tenets roll up into trust, and that's why Subaru continues to have one of the higher loyalty rates in the automotive industry, which we're very grateful for. And I think those same tenets roll over to any relationship or partnership, right? If you have a relationship that's rooted in trust and dependability, reliability, the customer satisfaction, then you're more willing to kind of enter into a long-term partnership with someone. And I would say, frankly, that's something that Subaru and Paramount have had for a long time, and that's kind of why we've been such great partners over the course of the years, far longer than I've been in the role too, which is great.
Same. Love that. So from your perspective, what really does a trusted media partner look like in practice?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, there's got to be alignment on kind of the vision and the goals. And is the partner deeply rooted, deeply focused on like the long-term benefit or results for Subaru? There's got to be a level of collaboration. You and I were talking earlier about this morning. Like, we like when partners are extension of the Subaru team and we can roll our sleeves up together and work together. And I think a really crucial thing to that as well is it's not just the brand and the media partner, but the agency is vital as well. And if you don't have kind of a cohesive relationship across all three, then frankly, I don't think it's really going to work. So I would say the partners that we have the deepest relationship, the longest term relationship with, we have a great relationship across brand, agency, and media partner. And unfortunately, I've seen in some instances where maybe some partners will go right to the agency or right to the brand. And I don't think we get the best work, and I don't think we have really long-term relationships when that happens. So another thing I think is adaptability to everything we're talking about today. Partners who can work with Subaru to be flexible and adaptable, given the rapid changing media landscape first and foremost. But then also you think about For us, the automotive industry, a lot of other verticals, but think about this year with tariff implications. I'm sure we're all kind of feeling that. So partners that are willing to kind of be adaptable to kind of the changing marketplace and what Subaru needs is really, really crucial for sure. So.
Yes, absolutely. So how do you measure success? Like what makes a successful partnership in your mind?
So there's a number of things. I think the first thing is like the sniff test. It's like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the impact and the reach against consumers going to justify the cost, the time, the energy, the people invested in doing something? And then, the other thing we look at too is the why. So if a partner brings us something, why are we doing this? Why are we testing it? What's the desired outcome? And I think that right there quickly grounds you in the realities of, is this something that's going to be worth it or not for your brand at the right time? And then if we get into more of the quantitative side of things, I think, for us, we're really looking across the entire purchase funnel, but, media metrics first and foremost are extremely important. But brand health metrics, are we moving the needle on awareness and favorability? If it's a partner that we're looking, maybe lower in the funnel, certain business outcomes, like, are we generating a sales lift? Are we increasing leads and, getting a good quantity of leads for our retailers and stuff like that? And then, after we go through all that, I think it's important to kind of sit down with the partner and review kind of what we set out to achieve in the beginning. Did we meet it? Did we not? Can we learn from it? Can we optimize and do something moving forward? So I think it's a constant conversation that needs to happen, and it's how you learn and you grow and kind of the partnership and the relationship.
Yes, absolutely. I love that expression, is the juice worth the squeeze, because I use that often. I don't know if my team remembers that, but it is important to make sure that, the time and effort and money you're investing is going to give you, double, if not triple, if not quadruple the return. So that's really important. And then one thing that I like about your answer there, you're talking about like meeting after and having a conversation about what worked, what didn't work, what went well, what could we do better. I've found that sometimes that step is missing in partnerships, partly just because media is moving so quickly and there's so much demand on so many people that sort of can get pushed aside. But I think it's really a key component of a good partnership.
I agree. To your point, we're always looking at what's next and trying to plan ahead. And, you have to do the postmortem with the agency or the media partner to see how things are going. But finding time to do that, as I'm sure as everyone could agree, is difficult to do for sure. But it's a very important, critical step. So building that into the process is crucial. Yeah.
Okay, are you going to ask me a question?
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry.
We did talk a little before.
We did. So obviously, from our side, you're asking what is a good media partnership, or partnership look like from a media partner? Well, how about from a brand? Like, what are you looking for when you're partnering with a brand? And kind of on the idea of trust, like how do you build trust with a brand as you build a relationship?
Well, first I was going to say I'm wearing the interview suit, not you, so I didn't know you get to ask questions too.
I can ask one.
Yes, no, I appreciate it. Ask away, ask away. I think that open communication is the key, and for clients to be open to meeting with publishers, because this is ultimately where your media dollars are being invested, I think that that's really important. And the more that you can share with us about your goals, the better it is for us to go back to our portfolio and to match our capabilities to your needs. So that's really key. And then I really do appreciate the willingness to test and learn, which Subaru has been great at. So thank you. Okay, switching gears a little bit. I know a lot of people have been talking about creator and influencer marketing today, and I know that's been a big effort of Subaru over the past couple of years, and I know that you have had a big hand in that. So do you mind telling us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. I think, we really started to kind of lean heavily into creators a few years ago now. And for us, it's how do we get the Subaru brand in front of a potentially net new audience? So our awareness, generally speaking, is pretty high, but maybe the familiarity is not there, or the awareness isn't that great. So people may have heard of Subaru or not at all, but how can we use creators to get in front of potentially a net new, untapped audience that we're not reaching with our current day-to-day media investment and strategy? So we primarily use creators in two areas. It's to talk about our vehicles and our launches, like many OEMs do. And then the other side that we feel makes us unique in the marketplace is this idea of our love promise. And the love promise essentially is Subaru's commitment to the community and having a positive, lasting effect on every interaction. And that really permeates through our entire organization, whether it's the sales team and the interactions happening with customers at retailers, or it's local charity partners and initiatives. So we use the creators to kind of talk about each of those. From like a cultural moment standpoint, I would say Subaru takes a little bit different of an approach with that. So, a lot of brands may use creators to lean in on certain cultural tentpole moments. Ours are a little bit different in that we use them for these love promise pillars. So each pillar, which aligns to a different charity initiative, has a different month. So in the month of October, it's Subaru Loves Pets month. So the idea with Subaru Loves Pets is Subaru and its retailers are working to raise awareness of pets in shelters, helping to get them adopted. So we work closely with the ASPCA on that. And our retailers work with local charities to help get dogs and cats into foster homes or long-term homes in their local communities. So we'll align there. In August, which we're going to talk about in a minute here, which we partner with Paramount on, is our Subaru Loves Learning initiative, which is around education. And not only are we doing kind of the full media up of TV, digital, programmatic, streaming audio, paid social, but we're now inserting creators as well. And it's, again, the way to get in front of a new audience. And we've seen some really good returns from it so far.
So this is off script, but did you have a hard time selling in the idea of using creators and influencers to your management? Especially because you have such a strong brand just through your creative and all your on-the-ground efforts with your retailers. I can see there being a little hesitation with shifting that strategy.
It's a really good question. No, fortunately, we had a lot of support. And it was right around the time that I came back to Subaru, and there was like a big kind of push around like, hey, how do we figure the creator marketplace out? How do we kind of dive into it? We were doing a little bit of work in different areas across marketing, whether it's like the brand partnerships team or owner loyalty, but then we brought it all together within the media investment team. And I think last year we worked with like 65 creators across different initiatives. So it's a very robust work stream for us, but there was definitely full commitment from our executives on that, which is half the battle. So
yes, it often is. 65 creators. Wow, that's a lot of creators. I love that. And I know that Allison on your team works extremely hard on all of those initiatives. So when we talk about trust and partnerships, I'm really proud of the fact that we were able to expand our partnership with Subaru this year. We've always had them as a traditional linear partner, which we greatly appreciate, and they've been on the forefront of digital and streaming advertising as well. But I think that your trust in Paramount as a company sort of helped us do an influencer campaign with Max Greenfield, who happens to be on a show called The Neighborhood on CBS. So can you talk a little bit about that and whether trust played a part in that decision or whether it was all dollars and cents?
Yeah, for sure. No, it definitely did. To your point, we've had a great relationship for a long time. We've had product integrations with Paramount. Over the past few years, we were in NCS Hawaii at one point. The past couple of years, we transitioned over to The Neighborhood with Max Greenfield. You may know Max Greenfield is Schmidt on a show on another network that I won't disclose their name, but Max was at filming of one of the the TV shows that we had a product integration with for our Subaru Solterra EV. He saw it, he loved it. He actually sent us a text from set and was like, I love this car, I'd love to work with Subaru. So Allison on the team started to kind of talk to the Paramount team and our agency about, hey, how could we maybe work with Max? So we have a longer term commitment with Max where he's going to lean in to talk about our Subaru Solterra, which is our first electric vehicle, which we just redesigned. And then Max actually has a passion for education himself. So I think during COVID, he started writing children's books himself. So it's kind of a natural, authentic tie. And we used Max to kind of help further elaborate on the Subaru Loves Learning initiative in August and how we're trying to drive kind of awareness around that. There's a really mind-boggling stat that 92% of schools in the United States have children whose parents cannot afford basic school supply, 92%. So Subaru has partnered with Adopt a Classroom to help provide kind of monetary benefit to teachers, because what happens is when a teacher can't afford school supply, it's on the teacher to now do that. So we try to provide some benefit to teachers in underserved areas and kind of raise awareness of this. And our retailers have done an excellent job in their local community. So net, we've used Max to kind of help further amplify that, raise awareness to it, get people involved in it. And this year was great in August. We got a lot of great feedback on it. I think it reached a lot of people. So, we're excited to keep kind of testing things like that as we move forward.
Great. We're excited too, right, team? I guess one more question on creators. Do you have just a ton of people reaching out, like sliding in DMs of Subaru of America and all the different Subaru sort of subset social media accounts? And how do you manage that?
Yeah, it's a good question. We definitely have gotten more people reaching out now that they know that we have kind of like a program. We also will start to tag and follow certain creators, maybe a year or two in advance of working with them. So if they're a creator that maybe is aligned to one of our charity partners and have a passion point, or maybe they're a current owner, we'll start to kind of like keep an eye on them, see how they're doing, see what brands they're working with. And then as we work on kind of our robust briefs with our agency or any of our media partners, we'll kind of put some of them as maybe North Stars to potentially work with. So that's kind of how we kind of do it. We start identifying people early on and then determining like, hey, are they going to be better for a Love Promise initiative? Are they going to be better for a vehicle launch or something like that? And then we'll start the conversation with them.
Okay, now switching over to a little bit more of a dry topic. No offense to all my data friends, but I feel like Subaru has really made the switch to focusing on advanced advertising. And can you talk about how you got to that sort of point and how linear and digital sort of work together there?
Yeah, sure. Like most people in this room, we've started to kind of shift kind of our focus and kind of started test and learning some new initiatives. I would say one of the things we're focused on right now is definitely in the video space, some of the audience-based buying that's available right now, right? So when we think of the purchase funnel for an automotive consumer, we're really using different audiences throughout all phases of the funnel, from awareness, consideration, and down to shopping. And one thing that we've partnered with Paramount on the past couple upfronts is data-driven video and kind of the Paramount Vantage product, which has been great for us because we've been able to take, we call it broad-based reach awareness, and now we're focused more on targeted awareness. So we can get in front of the experience seeker, the person that looks like a Subaru consumer, and really start to be more efficient with our dollars, especially in times like this when it's more important than ever. So I would say that's like the first thing. The other thing is programmatic and continuing to lean in there more. We're starting to really try to connect the tiers. So the automotive tiers of tier 1 being the OEM, tier 2 being some regional advertising efforts. and really kind of bringing them together and bringing those audiences together. And when we can do that, we can really start to manage reach and frequency and be efficient with our dollars. So that's another area that we're leaning further and further into. And then the last thing is, like Paramount and a lot of other media partners leaning into some of the more high impact ad units and home screen takeovers, and allowing consumers, if they are interested to learn more about Subaru, to take the next step and kind of lean in, because as you all know, a lot of these units now, whether they have QR codes or okay to text, et cetera, you could push your website right to their phone while they're consuming content, and they can start to scroll and kind of learn more about the brand. So I would say that's kind of like the big buckets right now within the video space that we're really focused on.
Do the retailers appreciate all the efforts that you're doing sort of at the top of the funnel to help them drive into their dealerships? Which I know you don't call them dealerships, you call them stores.
Retailers.
Retailers, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
But do they, are some, retailer groups more responsive than others as far as how their marketing dollars are invested?
Yeah, so to your first question, I think it's always how we did in that month from a sales point, whether they're appreciative or not. But generally speaking, they are. I think a lot of our retailers are starting to see the benefit of connected TV, streaming, so on and so forth. They still invest heavily in linear, but just that, CTV has become a little bit more democratized, and smaller spenders can really start to lean in more than they did in the past. We're seeing a lot of our retailers do that in their local areas and stuff, which is great to see.
And I assume that you have a whole team at Subaru of America who is sort of educating and on the ground with them on a day-to-day.
Yeah, we have an awesome field team. We have 3 regions. We have 12 zones, and each of those zone offices have different marketing personnel. And then we have all of our agencies and vendors that also have field teams. So they're constantly out of there trying to get them to ensure they have the right media mix and they're spending their dollars efficiently.
Love it. Okay, so quick question. What are you watching besides the Eagles and the Phillies?
Tough weekend to be a Philly sports fan.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
Sorry. We had a bad weekend here in New York as well, so.
We have game 2 of the Phillies tonight, so hopefully we'll turn around, tie it up with the Dodgers. What am I watching? So, yeah, a lot of sports lately. I was late to the party on Yellowstone. I hate to say it, so I'm trying to binge my way through that. I'm getting there.
Not pay him separately to say that.
It's funny. The 2 things I'm going to mention are both Paramount shows, and you didn't pay me. But Yellowstone, Landman, I'm pumped for season 2. I thought that was an incredible series. Definitely highly check that out if you haven't already. And then I just watched a documentary on Netflix about SEC football, which if anyone's a college football fan, that was really well done. So I highly recommend that too.
Well, we love the SEC, but now we love the Big Ten more here at Paramount. So just saying. So I really just wanted to thank Ryan for being up here with me, and thank the team for supporting. I think Subaru sets a gold standard as far as how to work with publishers. And it really is all about that sort of 3 legs on the stool: the agency, the client, and the publisher. And the more open dialogue you can have, the better the partnership is going to be for everyone. So really appreciate it. I want to say that in front of everyone. So thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Gretchen. Thanks, everyone.